space, and style.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Space and Style, a television show that exposes you to the intricacies of the world of real estate. My name is Olamide Onifade, your captain on the show today, and together we'll be going on an interesting voyage into the challenges of housing delivery in Nigeria. On the show, we have different segments to cater for all your real estate needs. We have the expert segment where we discuss topical issues. We have the design tip-top corner where we keep you abreast of various trends in interior design. Then we have the property of the week, which showcases different properties in the market to inspire you to join the real estate ladder. And lastly, we have the artisan spot where we talk to different artisans who support the real estate industry with their craftsmanship. So sit down and make sure you enjoy all these fascinating segments. Today, I am joined by Mr. Aderemi Adedokun, a big player in the construction industry with a proven track record of over 15 years. He founded his real estate company, RT Company Limited, in 2006 after working for so many years in the banking industry. He is an accounting graduate of Ogun State Polytechnic Abeokuta, now known as Moshood Abiola Polytechnic, and he also obtained an MBA from the Lagos State University. He has developed over 10 projects ranging from affordable to luxury homes. He will be beaming a searchlight into the very many challenges impeding the growth of the real estate industry. Thank you for joining us today, Remy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Why are houses so expensive in Nigeria? Because that's the bane of the housing deficit we have in Nigeria, because of course you see houses and it's unaffordable. So when we say there are housing deficits in Nigeria, but there are houses being built every day, which is not within the reach of the common man. Why is this so?
I don't want to agree that houses are very expensive. It depends on the area, the location you're looking at. So if you want to live in BI, live in Ikoyi, you should be ready to pay the price of Ikoyi. If you don't have that amount of money, then you have to go to the suburb, go to Mowe, go to Ikorodu, go to Agbara, and the rest of them. So you find houses at affordable prices there. However, prices have even gone up a little bit on those areas as well.
And why is that?
This is because of the dollar exchange.
Why is dollar such a great impact on construction? Don't we manufacture anything locally? Why is everything dollar? And even cement, we produce cement here, which is, I don't know, I stand to be corrected, the biggest part of what you need of a building material. So why is everything dependent on dollar?
Okay, let's put it this way. The people that are selling sand, for example,
yes,
we are not importing sand.
Yes.
We get sand locally here.
Yes.
Yet the price of sand has doubled.
Why?
Because the people selling sand will tell you that when they collect that money, they're going to spend it in the market where dollar is being used. The people that are bringing things to the market are getting it, buying with dollars. So their prices are up. So they need to up their own prices too in order to level up.
So are you saying that Naira devaluation has a serious impact on the housing industry in Nigeria?
It has a serious impact on everything.
I know, on the construction business.
Construction and so every other thing.
So why is cement expensive?
I'm not in a position to tell you why cement is expensive. The manufacturers, the likes of Dangote, Lafarge, will be in a better position to tell you. All we know is that we go there to buy cement, and today it is 2,000, tomorrow it is 2,500, next tomorrow it is 3,000. As I speak to you now, it is 4,000. And the most annoying part of it is that the unavailability.
How do you mean? It's expensive and it's unavailable.
So you have your money and you can't even get the cement. Sometimes you have to queue up, pay money today, and you get it in about 2 weeks. They tell you Lafarge is not producing. They tell you Dangote is not producing. And people are hoarding it. You know our Nigerian factor. People hoard it.
Recently, due to the Ikoyi building collapse that happened, your industry has been in the forefront. It's been in the eye of the storm. everybody is laying complaints at the doorstep of the developers, right? So I would like to take it from your angle, to see from your lenses. Why is this so? Is it true that developers cut corners? Is it true that you cut, when it comes to the regulation, you manipulate regulations? Is it true that you do a lot of, shady things in the industry? I would like to see from your angle.
Okay, I'll start this way. There's nobody that is doing business, spending his hard-earned money, that want to cut corners when you know it's going to boomerang at the end of the day. So it's going to be a penny wise, pound foolish. Yeah? So when you're doing business, you want to put everything in place. Take, for example, the man that is doing a 5-story building. Sometimes when you want to start your construction, you make provision for 7 so that you can sit very well. It depending on what your structural engineer tells you. He's the one that designed it. He's the one that tells you this is the capacity, this is how far you can go. So we're not cutting corners, we're not manipulating the authorities. And as a matter of fact, the authorities comes every now and then to come and say every stage of your work.
So if that is it, why do we still have building collapses in Nigeria?
It's unfortunate. As much as I said, nobody wants to, we don't cut corners, we still have some bad eggs, which happens everywhere in the world, which happens in every facet of businesses. Some people still want to do some shoddy things, but not in the highbrow area like Ikoyi.
So what could have happened to Ikoyi building?
Honestly, I can't say exactly what could have gone wrong. I can't place my hand on it. But what I know for sure is that the man will not put up a 21-story building and compromise, and want to deliberately compromise. It's just unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. So, talking about money, how do you raise finance to embark on these businesses? Because it is capital intensive. So how do you raise money to ensure you do the right thing? Because it's not every developer that has money to do the business, and they are in business. So how does the financial institutions in Nigeria help your businesses?
Yeah, thank you very much. That's a very important aspect of the business. The area you are doing your construction determines the amount of money you're going to spend, because that will determine the luxury you're putting in the apartment. You will not spend the same amount you're spending in Ikoyi, in Moe. So this is the way it is. Unfortunately, our financial institutions are not helping matters, because by the time you look at the interest element, when you're done with the project, you find out that you make absolutely nothing on the project, and you don't want to work for the bank. Few of them are helping, and if you can sit down with them, sometimes my banker, they're doing well with me. I can say that.
I don't know if you
okay. I would have loved to. I mean, we have a very good relationship, and they are financing most of our projects. They're doing really well for us. So most people, I think, you go to friends, just like you're doing any other business. Some friends can help you, family can help you with funds, and some people want to start big.
Okay, so that's a problem.
That is a problem. You start from, a child has to crawl before you stand. You have to walk before you run. You have to run before you fly. But these days, people just want to start flying like that. So when you do one project, you do like 2 units, then from there you graduate to doing 3 units, you graduate to doing 6. But some people just want to do 20 units the first time, and without experience.
Wow. And thank you for staying with us. We're due for a short break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Space and style.
Thank you for staying with us. Shortly before we left, we were talking about challenges with the housing delivery in Nigeria. And Mr. Aderemi Adedokun is still with us on set. Thank you very much for staying with us.
Thank you.
So another question that boggles my mind is the menace of the Omonile. How do you people deal with this challenge? It's a menace that it's been around for centuries and nobody has done anything about it. I know the Lagos State government is really trying, but still, they've not been able to, put this monster behind us. So how do you developers deal with this menace?
Thank you. The Omoniles, they're not as rampant as they used to be.
Oh.
All thanks to Lagos State government. They're doing a good job. However, that does not mean they're not there again. And it depends on where you work. That's what determines whether you're going to come in contact with the Omoniles or not. When you're working in Ikoyi, you don't expect to see the Omoniles.
How do you mean? How do you source for your land in Ikoyi?
No. Okay. It depends on your own definition of Omonile. Omonile, as I know, are the ones that will come in and disturb your work when you're doing construction. They want to claim money from you when you're doing the foundation. When you finish foundation, you want to do the block work, you have to pay them a certain amount. I don't know if those are the ones you are referring to as the Omoniles or the ones that sell lands and sell to 2 or 3 people.
Okay. I would say the second one, because if you're talking about the first definition you gave, I would rather say they are street urchins, what you call omota or something like that. I don't think they have any link to the land. But the one I am talking about, the reference I'm making, is the real Omonile people that give you land and still come back to, stress you when you start construction.
I don't think we have much of that again.
Okay. Are you serious?
No, I don't think you have much of that again. Reason being that when you buy land, you'd always do your due diligence. Your lawyer goes to allow us to do some verifications. You make sure that you have the right documents. You make sure that nobody has bought the land before you. I mean, if you have everything in place, you do your due diligence. I don't see why anybody will come and disturb you when you're doing your job.
All right.
So we don't really have much of that. At least in the last, since I started, I've never had any of such experience.
I'd rather say you've been lucky.
Maybe. But
Probably your choice of location.
I have friends who are doing the same business.
Okay.
And none of them have any of such experience.
All right. So moving on, how do you handle unskilled labor and professionals on site? Because part of the problems of building collapses and all those problems we have is the professionals. And there's always a kind of challenge between what the developer wants or what the client wants and their professional advice of the consultant or the professionals on site, then versus the unskilled laborers that you engage on site. So how do you manage to put this all in place?
Okay, thank you once again. The modus operandi of your business will determine how you go about this. I'm a developer, not like I'm building for anybody. Yeah? So I have my team. We have the architect, we have the structural engineer, we have the civil engineer, we have the builder, and all of them, the mechanical and electrical engineer on site. Those are the professionals.
Yes.
They are always on site. Yeah? And there's a drawing with which we are working with, which must have been approved by the state government. However, we also have the unskilled people on site. They are the laborers, the workmen, and all of them. All these people, the skilled workers, tells them what exactly they expect from them. So, and they are there to monitor what they are doing. Take, for example, you are supposed to mix cement and sand together. So the professional will tell you, I want 1 bag of cement and 10 bags of sand for this mix, hypothetically. So if they are there to control the unskilled laborers, I don't see why there will be a problem. Unfortunately, some people don't have the skilled people on site all the time. That is when these people does whatever they like.
Wow. Okay, we are due for a break and we'll come back. Thank you for staying with us. We're going for a short break. Don't move. We'll be back in a jiffy.
Space and style.
Thank you for staying with us. We are still here talking about the challenges in housing delivery in Nigeria, and Mr. Aderemi Adedokun is still here with me. So, Mr. Aderemi Adedokun, what impact does taxation have on your business? And I would say double taxations, because you hear people you start from the approvals, then you go on to local governments, pay this, pay that, and all that. And of course, it does affect the business because you put all this cost on your consumers, on your customers. So how have you been able to manage these situations?
Yeah, it's a very big challenge in the sense that when you're getting your approval from the state government, whether you like it or yes, they would ask you to go and pay tax.
Even if you are a taxpayer in Lagos
That
State?
is exactly where the problem lies. Even when you are a taxpayer and you present your tax papers, they still go ahead and still ask you to go and pay tax.
So are you saying, I'm sorry to butt in, for every project you embark on, you have to pay Lagos State government taxes for each project?
Yes.
Even if you pay all your taxes in the previous one?
Exactly.
Wow.
They still ask you to go and pay tax. We have references to people who already have, they're taxpayers. Somebody who works with with a company. Take, for example, you work with a bank. They deduct your tax from source, whether you like it or yes. But unfortunately, when you want to develop a building and we are seeking an approval for you, Lagos State will still ask you to go and pay tax.
Even on the land,
Yes.
when you're trying to do perfection of your title, you pay taxes.
Exactly.
You want to do approval, you pay taxes. That's double taxation.
So this is what we have been fighting against. They should look at it objectively and say, okay, if you are a taxpayer, they don't need to charge you tax for construction again.
But how have you been engaging the authorities? What have you done to engage them?
Yeah, we've gone there, we've told them, sometimes we write letters to them to tell them that this person is a taxpayer, we attach all the papers to it. Sometimes they listen, sometimes they just bring the tax down. Maybe if they have given you 5 million, they just say, okay, go and pay 2.5 million.
So you are not coming as an association, you're doing it in isolation?
Something like that.
Is there like an association of real estate developers in Lagos?
Of course there is.
So what is the association doing
They are
as
also
an
fighting,
association?
yeah, they are also meeting with the government to resolve it.
Then you should, I'm sorry,
But you see, it's not easy with the government here. Anything you want, what have you gotten done on the platter in the country? You have to go extra length, you have to keep going, you have to keep talking about it until you get it done.
So your association would rather choose negotiation than probably litigation?
Why would we go litigation?
The courts are there to ventilate your rights.
Maybe after we must have
explored all the
available resources.
So in a nutshell, what would you advise for potential customers who want to join the property ladder? How do I identify structures that structurally, that have structural integrity, and probably location and, all other factors that should influence a first-time buyer? What would you advise?
Okay. If you're buying a property, from my little experience, I know that the number one factor that every buyer looks out for when they're buying a property is security. In terms of location, how secured is the location, is the environment. So if you're buying a property, apart from that, if you want to know the structural stability of the building you're buying into, it is advisable for you to get an engineer to go and do an inspection. So you'll ask them questions like, do you have a permit to do this construction? So if you have a permit, you are sure that these people have been coming to check every stage
The
of your
stages
work.
of the construction.
So that gives you a bit of comfort. If you have the permit, you know that Lagos State will not come tomorrow to come and mark the house. Yeah. So, and your engineer will come and ask some basic questions. How did you do can I see your drawing? What's the foundation like? What is the mix of this? Where your test results for, because for every phase that you do, we do a test of the cubes of the mix, the cement mix. So the engineer will check. Once he's comfortable with all of that, then you're good to go.
Lately, I saw something in the news talking about certificate of completion. What does that indicate?
What it means is that if during your construction, you're carrying the authorities along, they come to do the inspection, they come to do everything till you finish. When you're done, you apply for the certificate of completion. So which they will give you. That confirms that they have checked everything you did from start to finish.
So that's a
big comfort to anybody who is buying. But you know, most times people buy off plan before completion. So there's no way they will have access to that certificate of completion at that point.
So how do people who buy, off plan, so how do they still have the comfort?
Yeah, I just told you now, get an engineer to go do an inspection.
But my money is already with you.
No,
so
before you do the payment at all.
Okay.
This man comes in. Okay. Another thing is that before you buy, you have to make sure that this developer has integrity, has a pedigree. He has done few projects before, and you have inspected. You're sure, okay, I can deal with this person. You won't just go to a new building with somebody who does not have anything and buy off plan from foundation. If it's a new developer, you'd have to wait till the person has gone some miles before you plug into it, before you drop your money.
Thank you very much, Remi Adedokun. I had a nice time, and the audience too had a nice time. And I hope you will come again when we invite you.
Anytime.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have come to the end of the conversation with the experts. Up next is the Artisan of the Week. I know working with artisans can be tedious, but we found some good ones. Take a look.
Space and style.
I've made this business now for long now. That is almost 28 years. There is a difference between the upholstery and the furniture. Like furniture, they don't used to sew. We are the upholsterer. We used to sew and wear all those fabric on the chair and maintain the quality of the chair and bring the beauty out when furniture cannot do it. We maintain the quality. If you want to know the quality of the fabric, once you touch the fabric of the chair, you know the quality between the fake and the original. Is not the one is not original. There are many challenges the upholsterer. Like some of customers that used to complain, upholsterer used to delay all those kind of things. If it's normal, upholsterer used to delay. They want to delay, like they have like 3 to 4 work on their hand. They were used to please. They want to please all of them. For that moment of pleasing all of them, at least you must to delay one and please one, or you need to please all of them. You delay one and please the other one first before the other one. Like us, like me, when I learned my own, I learned for 2.5 years. Then I served my August for 6 months, making 3 years. There is like this one now. This is leather fabric. If you want to say this one, this is leather fabric. This is leather fabric. This is ordinary fabric. If I want to advise a client, I will advise them to go for this, because if you don't have like AC in the house, you cannot enjoy exactly something like this. If you have AC that used to blow every minute, you can use this kind of fabric. The difference is pure than this one and this one. Like this one and this one will last than this. This one will take long years. We protect dust. We protect dust and are dirty than this. Like this one, this is just fancy, and the house. This fabric, this is better than this. Like what I said before. If you are using this fabric now, customer can use it for like 10 years. Depends of the children you have at home. You can use this one for 10 years, 8 years. Some people, they used to use it for 3 years. They will bring it back. They'll bring it back to come and change it. Depends on the children you have at home. What I enjoy about the work, when I'm doing it, I enjoy it. Because I know this is my business. The effort of the female, they used to come in the business. It's like we have a contract, like all those ladies that used to come to my place now, for all those contractors, all those kind of things. They used to come, sometimes they used to get idea with us. They used to come out with idea. If they want to collect like something like this, they come. Ask some of idea before they went to go and collect the job, all those kind of things.
Space and style.
We have come to the end of the discussion this week. I hope you learned some good ideas from the designer and the artisans. Join us next week at the same time for another interesting edition. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.